said, well, we don't want that taken care of.
That'll stop everything.
Well, welcome
Well,
home.
thank you. That's so. That's so.
Also points out inadequate healthcare in the
That's
Department of Corrections.
Yeah.
That didn't just happen since you got out, you know what I mean? I've been there.
Yes.
Inadequate healthcare in the Department.
Yes,
of Corrections,
absolutely,
you know,
absolutely.
But you know, here the testimony is to your own strength and kept yourself well. Overeating or doing some of these other kinds of things
That make cause any worse.
having high blood pressure, swollen up your arteries and glands. So, you know, that's really helpful, man, that you, to be honest with you, look like to me you might have lost a little weight.
Yeah, I had lost a little weight running down here, you know, because it came when I came home, I was 178.
Mm-hmm.
And
That's big for you.
yeah, it's pretty big.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not that pretty big. 175, but kind of keeping it in that.
Yeah.
Since I've been out here, just running and eating. I'm at a vegan place. People eat rabbit food there.
Right. Yeah.
I don't eat rabbit.
Yeah.
So when I came here, that's the first place I hear. I'd tackle this chicken like
Right.
You know,
Like
so
40 going west.
Yeah, so that was one of the factors. So they finally got meat and stuff in there for me. I said, look, guys, I'm gonna be your egg mom.
Right.
Y'all gonna have to put something in this life. This ain't gonna work. In my little shelf area here.
Right.
Let me stuff this shit up.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Right. Well, you know, I'm just grateful, and now I know what to pray for. I couldn't even understand what was going on with you. So I think that's helpful. Anybody got a question or comment they got for
Do they see?
Wayne?
I mean, it ain't gonna be no complications.
Whenever you go into somebody's body, man, it's anything possible. But you know, I'm hopeful, man. I'm spirit up on that and in God's hand, man. I'm real solid in that area. You know, I believe that Allah got me. So
Yeah.
Because I know usually the doctors will tell you what you need to know. Most of the time they tell you it's not gonna be.
Oh yeah, doctor, you know, he assured me that everything's all right. You know, he say he know what he's doing.
Yeah, right.
You know,
Right.
oh, I know what I'm doing.
Yeah, right.
7,000-8,000 of these things. So, he said, I said, that's good enough. He said, yeah, we got you, man.
Yeah.
He said, I
You
got you.
say he from Mayo Clinic?
Yeah, he was the head dude over at Mayo, and he took over United.
And they're real good
So
at
he's
Mayo.
the real-
They're pretty good up there.
Yeah, he's a real deal.
Mhm.
They got a mail now downtown.
They working
Yeah.
with my brother.
Yeah, they got a little.
Yeah, I seen that look. I seen it today.
Yeah, they got some. Hey,
Got a little sign down on the 7th.
Hey,
Yeah,
how you doing, brother?
they've been down there for years.
I didn't know that. I just go by there and I seen it.
Yeah.
Drop your glasses right
They
there.
got something to do with the Timberwolves.
Yeah.
Put it all in there, and then they're doing, you know, medical stuff for the Timberwolves, you know, and then other teams too. Because Will had turned me on to a sale, a Timberwolf outlet sale or something. Just one of them last minute things. No, they had gear. Remember, it was geared up. I went down there on Will's direction, and man, look, I bought me a jumpsuit, a Timberwolf up and down. I think it was $30. Wasn't it, Will? Nice, man.
Really?
Nice.
$30?
They were real nice.
Nice. Tennis shoes. They got the shoes.
Brand new stuff. Right?
Brand spanking new. Right. And oh, look, man. And what I'm trying to tell you though was on the medical tip, the team they were getting ready to play that night, which must have been the Pelicans. They looked like college students was coming across the street, except for they looked like they kept getting taller. As they was getting close to me, it was actually intimidating because these guys was huge.
Here, grab it.
And then I see they were the Pelicans,
Okay.
and they getting ready to go to the Mayo component to do something over there. So the Mayo is connected with the team. You know.
What is it? Mail Clinic?
Yeah.
I didn't know other.
Right.
Yeah.
And when you want the gentleman to be nice enough, pour me one, a cup of that, pass it down to me.
So,
Thank you.
since we're small, let's, you didn't eat anything? You all right?
I was ready. What?
Quite a while ago.
I was in the joint, really fast.
Better.
Gotta keep it moving.
Or someone be like, are you gonna eat this? And put their finger on it. And then you.
Look at Frank on.
Yes. Are you gonna eat that?
That's a different time for you.
Yeah. No, they do it different down there.
No, they don't. I was just joking. They
She's in
don't do that.
Nevada.
I've been in Minnesota too.
They're gambling with their own lives.
Right.
So, couple things that have going on that I want to just for us to talk about. It have to do with vaccinations. So you guys remember, we hit vaccination very early. Yeah. And I'm really proud of us for doing that. But now, this whole notion of your rights and then having the audacity to be offended that someone would ask you to protect yourself and the rest of the community. Nobody asking you for no sex.
Right. Or no money.
Ain't nobody said nothing about no money. I mean, but this pridefulness about your rights omits the history of this country. And I believe, I want to say was after the First World War, there was a epidemic, a pandemic, I should say, that wiped out, man, over 100,000 people. And as they worked, there was no vaccination at the time. But of course, they worked on that. And when the vaccination came, nobody had an option of whether
They take it or not.
nobody was talking about their rights. And
I have the right to die.
it's a foolish, it's some foolishness, man. So I want to ask a few questions of us that I think we omit. Let me tighten up one thing. So, yeah.
Well, my car, no, you're not here right now.
Okay. Come on, you can tell me in here. So listen, y'all know Aaron Rodgers
Oh, yeah.
possessed you to just tell a barefaced lie about nothing. So this guy, and he's a great quarterback. If you're playing this guy, you're going to be in trouble. But this dude is great. And I want to show you something. He's great in this one area,
Right.
but over here he's weak and lacking.
Yeah.
Now here, instead of just saying, "Hey, I didn't get vaccinated," like Kyrie Irving, I have more respect for Kyrie Irving than I do for, and I don't respect what he's doing.
Yeah, because you're right, Shane. I appreciate you bringing that up. Though. I mean, he could have affected man hundreds of people, hundreds, maybe thousands.
So he just lied about it so that he can play. That's a few.
He said I got vaccinated.
He said he got
Yeah,
vaccinated.
he did.
Lie.
He
Lied
just-
outright, lied.
So now wait a minute. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, who never says nothing about nobody.
Right.
Now, Kareem scored more points than anybody in the history of the NBA. Nobody calls him the greatest of all time. He got 6 rings, brother, he just lays back.
He lives in wrong
He said because
hood.
yeah, he said I'm a big man, so y'all don't, just expect this out of me.
Oh, yeah.
But Kareem even said, he said, Aaron Rodgers damaged the integrity of all sports. It's a huge statement. So Aaron Rodgers is saying back, why y'all crucifying me? This is race. He quotes Dr. King, Aaron Rodgers. You heard about that?
What is that?
No.
He quotes King saying, you know, injustice anywhere, you know, blah,
It's
blah.
injustice everywhere.
And, you know, this is unjust. And so then all the, you know, then all the black muckety mucks, they jumped in. He's losing fans like 50 going west. His sponsorships are dropping.
That was huge.
That's huge, you know. So State Farm haven't dropped them yet, but they're going to, right? Because people putting you selling insurance, and this guy is.
Yeah.
What part of the game don't you understand? So I just want us to. I want to go around the room and find out. T, did you got that list? Okay. So you're right here, right now. If you have, let me say it this way: if you do not have health care right this second, raise your hand. If you do not have it, okay, you do not have health care. Okay. Anybody else in here?
I think I'm in the process of it. I just got out, so I'm in the process.
Right. So you signed all of.
Yeah.
So no, they getting ready to give you all kinds of health care because otherwise they don't have nobody to bill. See, you in the billing game now.
In
In the billing game. So see what? Let me tell you why I'm asking you this. One thing that we of the entire our group would be 67 people large if everybody was here. And one thing we've never asked is that question to everybody. Is anybody that does not have health care? Well, what's important about health care? Somebody jump in on that. What's important about it?
Let me throw something out.
Come on.
You know, when I got out, you know, while I was in prison, you know, I turned 65.
Mm-hmm.
And I wasn't notified that I should have been applying for Social Security and Medicare.
Right.
So when I got out, I applied for 3 months after my birthday. And they told me I missed my enrollment date.
Mm-hmm.
And I only qualified for Medicare Plan
B.
Part 8.
Okay.
I only qualified for Part 8. So I have to wait till July of 22 to enroll.
To re-up.
So they told me you can sign up now, but you won't reap the benefits until July. So I'm sitting here, really with no insurance because the only thing Part A covers is hospitalization.
Yeah.
Okay, no medicine and nothing.
Mm-hmm.
So here's what I did. I got on, started making a few phone calls, and I Pilot City, which is now North Point.
Yeah.
I got in contact with them. They told me to come in, and I came in and filled out a lot of papers. But they covered me for doctor's visits. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
They covered that.
Mm-hmm.
Paid $10 copay.
Yeah.
But I had to go to the hospital or the emergency room and stuff. You know,
Wow. So let's take that for a hot second. Nobody in prison who turns 65 should not know. I'm not accusing you because see, when you're busy doing time, that's a hard job.
Yeah.
And you're not. That's the last thing on your mind, you know. So it's wrong of the facility, your caseworker, they have your file, all of that stuff should be brought to your attention. So that you can enroll. Thank you, sir. So that you can enroll for your Social Security. Now you probably could appeal that
I
decision.
did, and here's what come up. They came up some papers from Lionel Lake saying that they notified me 3 months before my birthday. So I said, well, okay, if you notified me 3 months before my birthday, I should have some paperwork on it. So I don't remember it. And guess what? There is no paperwork.
Yeah,
I don't
no,
have it. So I told them to send me a copy of it.
Yeah.
And they never got back to me.
And there's nothing wrong with you asking for a copy of the paperwork that they sent. And so, in the appeal, you could have had an attorney because it's an important thing.
Yeah.
So, we should have been talking about that. That's why I'm bringing all of this stuff up. We should have been talking about that because then we could have helped you find a little legal rights attorney who can, who know how to go after what you need. That's one thing. The other thing is, anybody else though got a medical? Tim, what you got?
Well, I was took me a while, but I was very, very fortunate when they finally got it straight. Took me a while to get into Wright County. But then once I got into Wright County, get on Minnesota Care, they took care of me. But then now I'm turning 65 and I gotta go on that Medicaid because Minnesota Care does not continue.
Beyond 65?
I'm gonna turn 65 in January. So it's Medicaid, and I learned that they have a 3 months period before and 3 months after. And if that's what they have, 3 to 3. But I got it taken care of, but now my treatment costs, I found out the people that do my treatment, they're not Medicaid, they don't take Medicare. A lot of places don't take Medicare. The federal government has a way of dragging its feet as far as payments on and so a lot of providers don't like Medicare because they like to get their money right away, and Medicare is notorious for not giving the money right away.
Okay, so let me stop you right there, but those are good points. And you were fortunate to have Tim had a major surgery, heart surgery, and he was fortunate to be under 65 so that his medical costs would be covered by Minnesota Care. Is that right? And so then at 65, when is that going to happen?
January.
He's already enrolled.
So you've already signed up?
Yeah.
Yeah, they took care of him.
Good.
See, they didn't take care of me.
Yeah.
That's what I'm trying to make a point. He was notified they got Medicare and Medicaid.
Well, it's easier when you're out of prison than when you're in prison.
Right. And then they told so I couldn't get the Medicare, so I went after Medicaid. Medicaid telling me that you cannot have Medicaid if you have Plan A or B, which I got Plan A. So I don't even qualify for that. So then I went back to the Minnesota Public Aid Office to sit down and raise whatever sand that I could raise. And the only thing they was telling me is that you don't qualify because of your wife's income. Your wife's supposed to be taking care of you.
Is she still working?
Yeah, but she's working part-time and her insurance does not cover me.
Okay.
So I'm screwed anyway it goes.
Okay. Well, calm down now.
Yeah.
So, but see, he's been going through something because you can feel.
Yeah.
But we should have been talking about this the whole time. And I apologize. This is to everybody. We should be having these kind of conversations right away when you come home. We ought to be saying if we were what we say we are, who you got, or let's get you to somebody. Like for instance, North Point. That's a good gap plan. What I would do is with your thing, I would still appeal it and put a healthcare advocate on it because there's no reason for you not to be able to be covered. And if Lionel Lakes can't prove that they served you anything, then they got to go ahead and realize you slipped through the cracks. And there's a lot of people who would advocate on your behalf. I'm just saying to you. Now, Melly, you don't have nothing because of legal status?
Oh, boy.
Ooh, did you hear all of that? Give that brother a hand right there.
One of the main keys that what it is, because we did some paperwork. I called more than 20 different people that would just send me here and there, And some of you guys who are exhausted from in the morning, 9 o'clock until 5 o'clock, you haven't really gotten the answer yet day after day. And finally, someplace I think on the east side downtown, St. Paul, some of the clinic being, I think he took me there one time.
Tia.
Yeah, Tia, yeah.
East Side Neighborhood Services.
Huh?
East Side Neighborhood Services.
Yes, east side, yeah, somewhere east side, yeah. But then they wrote some prescription and they told me when I go back there, anytime I go back to the clinic, I have to pay $25 to them. But then the medication, they couldn't pay for the medication. All of the thing I had to pay from my own pocket.
Right.
So I said, but then what is this? Because that's what I came here for. I don't have a job. I just came from on the other side of the world. And now I come to you. You tell me that I should go to this place. My medication will be there. I walk to Corfu, and Corfu is selling me the medication about $100 and some more dollars for just one of them. And I told her I don't have no insurance. So they had to do something.
So let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
You just live right up here at the Popeye. Did you ever go to North Point? Right up here on Penn Avenue?
No.
Well, North Point they have to see everybody. And so
You got a human service thing there for you.
And they got that word, they got a
You got
place
help.
that'll sign you up and get you
so
insurance.
where you could see a doctor, and this is important for you to get up, just have a checkup, just to see that you're doing all right. Especially for you, because to me, I think you hold in so much. There's a lot of things you keep inside of yourself. And it could be eating away,
Stress.
stressing you out, man. And so anyway, I can drive you up there. You got a car now. It's right there at yeah, and the people are friendly to you. They're used to dealing with, immigrant population. Start there and just go through their health services. We're going to send somebody up there with you. Either I'm going to ask Tia or somebody if you don't go.
I'll go.
And, just see, can you get through the system a little bit? Because everybody in here need to have some kind of health care. We could write a letter that I believe would be at least get you started officially appealing. We can take that to the state. Go over, whoever told you no, we're gonna go over their head. Anyway, here's why I'm getting at that. In here, everybody in here is vaccinated. Is that correct? Did you get one shot, right?
I just got my booster shot
I got
2 days ago.
Oh man, my
Oh,
man.
yeah.
Get it at.
My man.
I did it when I did, my doctor went to my doctor and got my checkup all this year. I had to get a doctor.
Shane, I've been trying to get that booster, man.
Okay, that's what I'm finna tell you. Just wait a minute. So I'm not gonna let you down. You're gonna get it, but watch this. So everybody, we vaccinated everybody in here except Isaac was the only one who was talking about his rights. And then we have our shots in here in this building. All right. So what we're trying to do, my wife and I have asked the seniors next door, have they got their booster? No, nobody's gotten the booster. Nobody's come to give them the booster. So what we might do is set up a clinic right here again, give us the booster and to give them the booster. So we may do it in there. They got a little room over there. It might be over there, but we would open up this middle door, goes right into their building. This is what I'm thinking. Let me tell you who qualifies for the booster. Medical conditions for COVID-19 vaccination. Medical conditions. These are the conditions that you have to have to qualify for the vaccine, the booster. Cancer. Is that anybody in this room? Okay. chronic kidney disease. Don't be afraid to raise your hand.
I don't know if I, yeah, I guess I do.
Okay, so you qualify for the booster. Chronic liver disease, chronic lung disease, including COPD, dementia or other neurological conditions, diabetes type 1 or 2, Down syndrome, heart condition, HIV infection, immunocompromised state, mental health conditions, overweight, pregnancy, sickle cell disease, smoking, current or former, solid organ or blood stem cell transplant, stroke or cerebral vascular disease, substance use disorders, or tuberculosis. Now, don't that seem like everybody?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's covered everybody.
That's me, I got diabetes.
Okay, so then, you know, you can pick,
Overweight.
yeah, pick your, you know,
Always got a heart,
yeah,
high blood pressure.
but, right. So, but you should know about blood pressure, you know, you should have your blood pressure checked.
Regular.
So we got to figure this out. And it's gonna happen. It's not hard to do. You just have to know where to start. So anyway, I wanted to ask that question. I hope that we were gonna be a little. Michelle, you got any of that? All of that? Any of that? Okay.
I'm scheduled for a booster, but if you get one sooner, I'll show up right here.
Yeah, well, so I'm trying to. I think Thanksgiving is too quick. Before Thanksgiving is too quick because I have to coordinate the nurses and all of that. And then what we was going to do is have the bus that we had at Southside back in the day where you was working at. Melly did a good job there. Have the bus because you had your blood pressure checked that day. Was it high?
No, it was no more.
So if we could have the bus in the front or in that parking lot back there. So that way, everybody who wanted it could get all these other things, diabetes, blood pressure screening, heart health, all these other things at one time. You know, and like one stop, you can vaccine and go out there and check this and that, and the third. So that's what I'm thinking. It would be early in December, right? And you know, this is kind of what I'm thinking. So I'm gonna put something out. I wanted to go over with you. I'm gonna put something out on the email. You all right?
Yes, thank you.
Put something out on the email to everybody. And what I have to do first is connect with the nurses and let them know what we're trying to plan and see what dates are open for them. And then probably it would be a Saturday, so everybody, you know, was off work. Saturday morning type thing, you know. You know what I mean? Yeah, Saturday would have to be on a Saturday.
I found out today that because we go into jail and stuff like that, that makes up for the booster.
Absolutely, absolutely,
So,
absolutely.
And also, Shane, I've been on top of it.
Go ahead.
Right now, the Pfizer's booster is out. They're having an issue with the Moderna. They're talking about mixing them. I got both Moderna. So both of my shots were Moderna shots, and they're saying I cannot mix Moderna with Pfizer.
Right.
I don't, this is what they say.
No, I got you.
So, I mean.
We all got Moderna.
Yeah.
So, you know, we gonna get Moderna again, you know.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think
Pastor got Madonna, and he got the Moderna booster.
Yeah,
actually, and he got it at Walgreens.
yeah, so what the Moderna booster is approved.
Yeah, it's approved.
What's not approved is Moderna's youth, the young people, the children. So only Pfizer is doing that.
Yeah, I found the place, through the CVS pharmacy. They're giving out the free boosters
Yeah,
too.
yeah.
And the regular coronavirus shots for people, period.
Right.
And
you got your card, right?
yeah, I got my
So you
card.
bring the card to the booster place.
And yeah, it's I got kind of, I don't know, man, is this just me? But they had a spot open that I could have went to, was out in Coon Rapids. And I can't Coon Rapids. I think I'll pass up on that. I don't know, that's just me. Maybe I need some
I
help with that.
don't blame you, man. Sometimes,
How's of a person who took the Johnson and Johnson?
I mean, I've been through Coon Rapids.
they're not, this is a question over here. What about the people who took Johnson and Johnson? I'm gonna just tell you in front, I knew that something wasn't right with Johnson and Johnson. I refused to mess with that at all or recommend it to any of our guys. Now, the people who took Johnson and Johnson, they have to go back after 2 months. Everybody that took that has to go back and get another shot of the Johnson and Johnson. And they're suggesting if you got Johnson and Johnson, it's best for you to get the Moderna or the Pfizer booster. Right. Okay. Oh, yeah. So we're gonna talk about it again. We're gonna send it out. So I know I'm reaching everybody. I want to mention one more thing. There's a lot going on. John Bain, did you read the email?
Yeah, I got the email as well. I read the email, but I did just,
That's a generic.
yeah.
So we did that on purpose. So John, until we could come to the group, John's mom, and many of us know her because she had been here, don't you? Years ago, she came here and brought us socks. We remember that? Nice socks, yeah. Maybe this tall.
I still have socks. I'll be wearing socks.
Yeah.
Socks are nice.
She is transitioning. And so John is the oldest son. And so John is, he's trying to be there for his family and for his siblings. But it's also his mom too.
What's wrong with it?
All the amens that die down, right?
I didn't catch what was wrong.
I didn't catch what you said at first.
She's transitioning.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, she's passing now.
Oh,
She's hanging on that.
okay.
So they just, right now, as of last night, she was being intubated. Trying to keep her out of pain. I personally, I'm not afraid of too many things, but something about intubating, that it just
Life altering.
yeah,
That's what happened with mine.
I just don't know.
Cryogenics.
Yeah, well, so anyway, if I just want you to think or pray or say something about John. John is really going through it, and I'm going to try to wait for him to get here on his own.
Excuse me for a minute.
Yeah.
That was Mitch.
He's still on.
Yeah, but he's off right here. He ain't on yet. That was,
Okay, turn him off.
yeah.
Okay.
He wasn't on the phone. That was a message I had to leave.
Yeah.
I left the house and I forgot the message when I got here. And he was calling me. And I put this on no ring.
Yeah.
So he was checking in.
Right. Oh, absolutely.
So,
You good?
yeah, I don't know. I just got a hold to him. I don't know how to do it.
No, he's gonna be fine. Yeah, because you right here sitting and you were here the whole time. Yeah, Mitch Gondova, he ain't the one to try to screw you.
Yeah.
But watch this. John hadn't called me in a while. John, I once you get married, I kind of step back and that things develop, and but I noticed about 3 weeks ago, John popped up on the screen maybe a month ago, and I could just look right in his face and know that he was aching, and so I asked him. I said, "Man, I thought it was something else," and it turns out that it is something else, and so I just wanted us to be thinking about John, and he's a really good brother. If you have his phone number, and I know it would make him feel good just to get hear your voice or text him, or anything just to help him get through his day and what he's going through. So I just wanted to mention that. Michelle's son, Jeffrey, Jeffrey is a lifer. Jeffrey's been down about 20 years plus. He is put in for a commutation of his sentence. Did you bring the letter?
Did I bring it?
Yeah. No. So we wrote a letter of support for him.
Yes, thank you.
I mentioned to read it to y'all just so you can see what we were saying, but
I want to give you some information on that.
okay, go ahead. We're done.
Linnell actually just heard back from them.
And what did they say?
Something I need to research. Apparently in 2017 and 18, when they submitted it, they made a list of things versus sending in all the information. And they sent all these lifers a form letter that said, well, you have parole on such and such a date. And they're the ones who should be reviewing you. And then you come back to the commutation place. So then this letter Linnell got back at like 5 paragraphs, each one of them alluded to that same thing, mentioning all the different things, but saying, but these aren't the reasons you were denied a hearing or rehearing. The reason you were denied a rehearing is because you have parole, and they're the ones who should be looking at your case and or the life sentencing committee. The thing is when I said, well, did we know this or have they said that? And I remember going through the process initially, there was nothing that specified or stipulated that if you have a life sentence and you have a parole date, that you're not qualified to apply for commutation. So it just seemed like the letter had undertones of a personal nature to whoever was deciding that it wasn't going to be heard. But I hadn't heard of that before, so I'm in the process of trying to find that out. But Jeff said he's still going to pursue it and go through with it and see what comes out on the other end. But it just sounds like they're saying if you're a lifer and you have a parole date, then you don't qualify to file for commutation.
Well, so that begs a little discussion because lifers technically don't have parole dates.
Right, they have possibility of parole, which doesn't really give them a halt date.
Yeah, I mean, there is no parole date. I mean, if you
And the commutation process doesn't specify anything except for requesting what you should submit with your application.
So I'm wondering if there's some confusion between, because I have another brother, Toby Johnson, who is trying to get, who's also a lifer. Toby is trying to go through Keith Ellison's
Conviction review?
Yes. And I'm wondering if somehow all of those, Linnell and Jeffrey, will be going through this.
Well, theirs are going through the commutation process. I've looked into the conviction review, and apparently conviction reviewers review proper sentencing and over sentencing.
Right.
And innocence.
Right.
Those are the things that they look at. So if they look at it and you're properly sentenced according to your crime or what have you, then you go to the other side. No.
Right. And I think they both qualified there in my mind, just from knowing a little bit about the case, that, you know, because of the domestic violence and going back and forth between these families, that should have been a part of it somehow. That's just my thought. But Will, did you ever hear about a commutation committee hearing? It wasn't in existence.
Well, it's kind of new. Like the conviction review board, the review commutations, and the only one that has actually been done in decades was my arm Burrell. His was more of a, had so many holes in his case.
Right.
That they were kind of forced to go through with that. But other than him, there hasn't been anybody else. There's been 1,000 of denials, even for people in that short time.
You all know that Sherrod jumped on the screen see. Brother Sherrod. Sherrod popped on the screen. We haven't seen Sherrod in a while. Sherrod, are you there? Michelle, we got to do some more research.
Oh, yeah, definitely. We just found out yesterday. So
Okay, all
it's
right.
just new.
Let me know what you find out. And but I wrote a letter I wanted to read to you, and maybe I'll bring it next week or something like this here for Jeffrey Young. Jeffrey is a brilliant brother. A brilliant brother. He's one of the brightest lights in the whole 6,000 that we trained. He's one of the smartest guys. And we had some psychologists as students, and one medical doctor. So we had some pretty bright people, and y'all, but Jeffrey's right there. He was already a college graduate. Where did he go? Morgan State? No. Grambling. He'd already graduated from Grambling as a teacher. He was coming to be a teacher and came back in the summertime. And their little niece kept getting jumped on. HBC, they went over there to try to stop that. And it just went. It just escalated. That's good. Anyway, if you got your acts of faith, somebody who will want you read it for me.
Sure, I think nobody got them. Just give me him. Pass it back.
If you keep your pockets full of coins, you will always have spare change.
I like that.
Proverb.
Yeah, you should have known it was a brother.
Right, that's funny. If you expect to get something for nothing, or if you feel good when you get something without paying for it, you are violating the law of abundance. The law of abundance says you must pay for what you get. You cannot benefit from the mistake or loss of another. If you do, you will someday be forced to pay. Are you a bargain hunter? If so, you are violating the law of vibration.
Yeah.
Cheap thoughts bring cheap returns.
Uh-oh, somebody say dollar store.
Don't even try.
You ain't get much on that, Pop.
Everybody let that.
Dollars like dollar store. You ain't get much. When you place yourself in low vibration, you draw things that vibrate on the low level.
At the dollar store.
Do you begrudgingly spend money? Do you hate to pay your bills? If so, you are violating the law of correspondence. What you withhold from the universe will be withheld from you. If you give begrudgingly, people will begrudgingly give to you. It is not what you do not. It is not what you do not that makes or keeps you poor. It is what you do with what you have that opens the door to more.
Amen. That's right.
Pay your way, or at least offer to pay. Expect the best and give it to yourself.
Oh, read that again, Will.
Expect the best and give it to yourself.
Yes, sir.
Release your money happily, being grateful that you have it to give.
Oh, that's good.
The laws are on my side.
That's right.
I am blessed.
I am blessed.
Reflection. Do you feel grateful when you pay your bills and thankful when you are able to give to others? If not, why not? What are you ready and willing to change?
Oh, that's good.
That was refraining.
That's a powerful reading.
Refraining.
Somebody jump in on it.
Yeah, I was about to say, to be honest with you, when I do pay my bill, really, when I do pay my bill, I feel pretty good.
Yeah, right.
I feel pretty good. I'm like, okay, that's out the way for about 30 days.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah,
Mhm.
you know, and then I tried my best to invest it in my, to keep it going down.
Yeah,
Keep it low.
Right, right.
So I don't have to pay as much, but
right.
yeah, I do, I enjoy paying bills, I have no grudges paying, and I try to, if I can pay it off.
Yes, right, right.
I pay it off.
Yes.
If I ain't got number $20 left in my pocket, okay, I
Yeah.
got that bill paid.
Yeah, yeah. Good. Come on, give me a little dap right there. So why I think that's important, and I, is just because for us, we want to get in positions where, you know, credit, our word, and all of those things, we have buying power if we want it. Not, you know, having it and not using it is better than not having it at all. You get it? So I love that what you just shared. Somebody else go.
Well, I never had to pay bills for a long time because, you know,
Because what?
because I had nothing stable in my life that I had to pay for. You know, I paid for a hotel room and every night, you know, but that ain't a bill. I mean, didn't belong to me. If I didn't pay it by the 11, my stuff was gonna be out on the curb or locked in the real building, you know. So yeah, I'm filling out this thing called responsibility with things, and I try my best to you know, not get behind or not miss something that's going to be important in my life. If I miss my rent, I'm going to be on the street. You know, it's just as simple, you know. But I feel very grateful for what I have. And it's not, you know, might not be much to nothing, but, you know, I got my own and I'm going to pay for it.
Right.
And people in my life realize that I try to, you know, I'm trying because people were reaching for me. So, you know, it's not, you don't have to say, look, I'm doing this. You know, people can look at you and say, you know, she's changing. She's on the right track and let me help her out, you know. And I always try to say, well, can I pay you back kind of this one? No, you don't have to pay me nothing. You know, they always say, you know, and sometimes I feel a little guilty about not paying my way, but it's the blessing. I'm getting blessed because I bless. I like to give anyway. I give people stuff all the time. And then people say, well, you ain't got nothing to give. You ain't got, yeah, I do. You know, like, okay, I'll just say one more example. Last Christmas, when y'all came out, invited the family over, and I realized, I looked at the tree and said, man, look at all the presents. I had 35 presents under the tree and don't know how I got them. And they weren't no cheap presents either. They were nice presents. And I said, that is such a blessing that I have all that. And I don't know how, I'm on SSI, you know. Yeah, but they were there. And, you know, it made me see that, you know, I'm being looked at. I'm being, you know. Yeah.
Give my sister a little something like that. Somebody else jump right in behind us.
You know, this is pretty deep, you know, and just so many ways, you know, this play out. But you know, I want to approach it from a relationship perspective. So, you know, Pops, I noticed that years ago, I realized, man, you know, hanging around people that have such a low regard of their life causes them to undervalue mine.
That's right. That's right.
And I just found myself in situation after situation after situation because of it. You know what I'm saying? And I just, yeah, I mean, you just, you know, cheap thoughts bring cheap in return, but it's the cheap thoughts that leads to you know, ineffective friendships.
Yeah,
you know, and it just Yeah, this is deep, man.
That's good. Give him some love. Yeah, I can see you reflecting hard on that. And you know, and a lot of them people, them same people, sis, let's put that down.
He's
You know,
trapped.
a lot of them people now you done moved on past.
Yeah, and for me now, it's the opposite true. Hanging around folks who hold their life in high regard causes them to uplift me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So it works the other way too.
That's good.
Absolutely.
Somebody else jump in. All right, sis, he trying to get Pop over there. Yeah, jump on in.
Okay, the gentleman behind you, my pop.
Just send him, just send it over there to him.
Can I offer some thoughts?
Come on, sweetie, come on.
It really spoke to me, in something that I've been practicing awareness on for a while now. It's just gratitude. It's been a really huge thing for me this year. For a long time in my life anyway, but it's been especially something that I focused on more. It talks about vibration. It talks about expectation. It talks about how you give and how you receive. And talking about paying your debt to what you receive is really considering that when you are in the space of abundance, or when we are, or when I am in a space of abundance, you know, I keep that in front of me because every moment is a moment to pay it forward. Every moment is to give for what you receive, not necessarily speaking to me in reference to a physical bill, but if somebody makes a way for me today, that's a message for me that's my job. That's my next agenda item, is to make a way for somebody else.
Yeah.
And in making a way for somebody else, it opens the door for somebody to make a way for me. And it really gets vibratory because it's like Willie says, you know, people who operate in a way of awareness of self and how they value their own life, being, existing, giving, and receiving. By just being in that space, we give that to the people around us. It's not always reciprocal, but it should never stop me. And that was the work I had to do.
Right.
That it should never stop me from continuing to operate in the vibratory way that I always have, because it's not reciprocal, or because you get to sometimes you get to points in life where you feel like you're just giving and exhausting yourself and pushing forth all this mental fortitude and effort, and you don't really feel like that's happening in a congregatory way. So like it's not a congregation. Everybody's not on that level. But it should never stop me from continuing to be in that space, because that's what keeps the doors of abundance.
That's
and
good.
Grace.
They give us some depth right there. Give us some
All
depth.
that.
Now, and then I just want to add to what Michelle was saying. Somewhere in there, I heard, when you are the mother of a son you love who has a life sentence, there is an unction.
I barely hear you talk. Sorry.
There's an unction that you have towards your son that other people who are around you and say they care for you, they don't have the same unction. And I can just imagine the friction that might cause.
None.
I'm imagining it. And just the friction that it can cause in all of our lives when you value something over here. This is what Will was saying. But then somebody else, they in your space, but they don't value it like you do. And the friction there, the tension there, it's serious.
No question.
It's serious.
No question.
I don't know all of Michelle's inner workings, how it all works. But what I do know about her, this is personal now, is that she has never taken her eyes off her son's freedom. Never. And sometimes it outweighs what I'm trying to do. If I wait for all the amens about that. You understand what I'm saying?
I know exactly. My mom was the only one that thought I was ever getting out of prison. And I thought I was gonna die there.
And
She was the only one that believed it.
Did you hear? And
The
look,
only one.
and wait a minute, and when I met his mother,
The only one.
look, man, this was when we were at Jamaica's thing.
Oh, yeah.
His mother embraced me. She said, "Are you Brother Shane?" I said, "Yes, ma'am, my brother." And she just flew into my arms with a wide open love. And what she was saying to me is, "You understand what I'm on." You get what I mean? And then this boy ended up right then calling her at that exact time. So we got a chance to pass the phone around.
Listen to the whole thing on the phone.
It was so beautiful. Somebody else jump in.
I just want to take a moment to honor that radical love of the mother for Michelle, that has for her son, for your mother who had for you, Jamaica's mother that you just mentioned. That power, that like everybody deserves to be loved radically by somebody at some point in their life, even if they didn't get it at home. And just to see that expression of somebody here on one end and on the other, that's power, and there's power in the room. And I'm really vibing off of the conversation that we're having about this particular reading. Will, I think you opened it up to another realm of thinking rather than this being just about money. And so what it's really reading to me is when you are empowered, your debt to repay is to be ready for the moment you can empower somebody else.
That's good.
When it's saying, when you place yourself in low self-esteem, you draw things that vibrate on low self-esteem. And so our job is to be prepared in ways that school doesn't teach us to be prepared, that only transparency, authenticity, and vulnerability can teach us to be prepared. Our job is to confront all of the things that we once ran from and gather the power and personal wisdom from those moments, because we know that it makes us relatable to somebody that nobody else is worried about.
Yeah, and let's stop him right there. Give him some love. Point you made about the things that we used to run from, but somebody didn't run. I'll wait for all the amens. And see, now we have become that somebody, which is a beautiful thing. In spite of all we've done, in spite of all of that,
which brings us to the point where the help we've been looking.
Yes, sir. Nobody else is coming. Exactly nobody else is coming. Come on, get some back. He said, "Just Jeffrey having kids."
Jeffrey got any kids?
Jeffrey has a daughter, and she's 18 now.
Wow.
Yeah.
So Will, so when Jeffrey has a particular kind of demeanor, if anybody who knows Jeff, he's very calm. He's a quiet brother. He keeps to himself. But if you knock on his door, he's there. But he ain't gonna go out of his way, this and that. But when I met his daughter, the same spirit that's on Jeffrey is on his daughter. Now, Jeff's daughter was born after he got his time. So he didn't get a chance to do none of it.
DNA.
And when I talked with her at North High School, she was telling me, his daughter, about her conversations with her dad about the 4 kinds of people who can change your life.
Yeah, he sure taught her that. Yeah.
And do you know what, man? I almost cried when she said that, because, wow. And so now you're saying she must have been 13 then, something like that.
Yeah, she was about 13, and I was able to take her to see Jeffrey every weekend, sometimes twice, in the same weekend until she was 8 years old, because the DOC has that child thing where they reach the age of 7, they can't play anymore. And Jeffrey was hugely interactive with her in that 3-4 foot space. And because he was a teacher and a counselor with children, he knew how to teach her
Mm,
just by demonstrating things like trees, elevators. They played all these games. You know, he showed her gravity, all these different things he taught her. And then all of a sudden we came in and they said she has to sit over there. And because she had been doing this for 7 years of her life, she kept getting in trouble for jumping out the seat. And then he even would have to reinforce himself not responding. And it became very emotionally traumatic for her. And so their visits became the phone calls and the letters because she could not handle being in her father's presence and not being able to relate directly to him. And that's something I brought to the table. We will see many times. And, you know, slowly but surely they're trying to work on that. But
And that's why I asked you if you had any kids, because you know, I was thinking when he get the opportunity, he's going to be a great father.
Yeah.
Because I think you have been such a wonderful example to him
Yes.
as to what love is.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And so you've shown him that without having to tell it to him. So when he comes home, you know, all that's,
well, he
Yeah,
actually
it's just
did
a
lot of
natural.
that from prison. Jeffrey has been an inspirational mentor and counselor to every single child in our family, including his own. And, you know, Jeffrey is who he's always been, but it has been difficult for him to continue that inspiration from within prison, but he is all of that all the time when he's able to be. But there's a lot that's broken down. So yeah, when he comes home, it will be, you know, tenfold. Thank you for saying that.
When Jeff was in Rush, that's where I met him at. We had developed, you know, Furbo was my home prison, so to speak. We had some mighty men in Faribault. I didn't think I could raise up another crew like that. And the OC people told me, you're not going to have the same impact that you had in Faribault in Rush City, because this is gladiator school. That's what they told me. And you know, I'm like, man, we're going to do the same thing.
Yeah.
So anyway, went on in there, and shoot, it took a short period of time before we had that thing rocking. But there was a brain trust of brothers. Brian Clifton, Dukes, right. Jeffrey Young, Linnell, his first cousin and rap partner, Linnell Martin. It's a few more, all lifers. Adrian Williams. All of these guys made up of, and what's the a couple names
Reggie.
Not Reggie, but his cousin, his brother.
Jermaine
Ferguson. Y'all know his name. Anyway, there was a brain trust there so powerful that these guys, once we got coalesced in there, they started moving pieces in the prison. It was so beautiful. They ran the library, you know, they ran the yard, you know, all of these things, and it was good. You know, it was real good. The guys are starting to go to them for yeah, like Faribault. But his mama's here. Jeffrey left Rush City because a cousin to this meeting, that's all right. A cousin to the gentleman whose life they took, I think it was a cousin or a brother, had gotten some time himself. And he stated that he was afraid to come there because Jeffrey and Linnell were there. So Linnell had already been gone, and then they shipped Jeff out
Jeffrey made that request.
So it was our class was on Wednesday night. He was there on Wednesday. No, Tuesday night before he left. And I never witnessed anything like this. There was a spiritual hole in the room and in the whole building. A spiritual hole that he took up. And and people tried to move around that, but it took a long time because he represented so much to so many. Even the COs responded to me. Things are really different since Jeffrey, Jeffrey Young left. I always call him his whole name, Jeffrey Young. Anyway, I never experienced that before. But let's get back to what we were talking about. And Moses had mentioned some really powerful things. Anybody else want to chime in on this subject matter? We're talking about the reading here. Ananiah, what you got?
As he was speaking, I was just thinking of how a person's interest, when a person has interest in things such as, let's say, reality TV, slapstick comedy, I mean, things that doesn't really give you any kind of information that is useful, but they spend their time just, watching slapstick comedy, reality TV. It's almost as if like it dawned on me that people, they relate to that because they feel a certain way about themselves. So they have to see somebody else that appears to them in a much more worse off situation to make themselves feel better or to make whatever it is that they're going to a little bit more bearable. You know what I mean? So, yeah. So when he was talking, it dawned on me, like, I see that a lot in people, try to talk to them, talk them out of it, like, let's read a book. You know what I'm saying? Get about them video games. You know what I'm saying? Let's go somewhere.
Right.
This Sunday, I took the whole family to see Dave Chappelle.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I took them all.
Where was that at?
Down there. It was at Target Center.
Was it good?
Oh, yeah, I went to that show. It was amazing.
It was fun.
It was off the chain.
You was there, Will?
Yeah, I was there.
Yeah, good. I'm glad y'all getting around, y'all getting out. That's beautiful.
Darius,
they had to put their phone.
He was there in the long line outside. I just drove by. Man, he was like, "Brother's crazy out here." I said, "Yeah, I see."
I ran into Darius.
Yeah. Oh, nice, man. I'm so glad y'all got out and just moving around like that.
It was phenomenal.
Will went in.
I'm glad to know y'all was there.
Will went to
not
the Spinners, but Whispers.
Stephanie Mills.
And Lenny.
Man, they had everybody singing.
Huh?
They had everybody singing.
Yeah.
No,
Lenny.
Lenny Williams. When you went to the last concert you
when I seen your sister.
Yeah.
That boy, that was something else. You was there. Frankie Beverly and Mays.
Yeah,
I was there.
Yeah, I was there one too.
Look, man,
Yeah,
but they tore the house down.
Yeah, they did. It was like they were never. They were the same.
They tore the house down.
Yeah. I like them.
And I ran into his sister at the concert, and we had a good conversation. She's a beautiful sister, both physically and mentally. She's really a sharp, conscious sister. Always has been. Now, see, just like your mom, that's who your sister has been to you. Like your mom is to you. You know what I mean? And she sat there with me and talked with me about you, for a long time. And we had a good conversation, And to be honest with you, I never put it together that y'all was related, even though y'all look quite a bit alike, So that's beautiful. Anyway, somebody else has something else about this reading that they just want to jump in on.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
One of the things when I was reading this here, and it was drawn to my attention, I was sitting there listening to the conversation that led from this. And like it says, the more you read into it, the more layers it is too.
Right.
It's the same one level here. And that goes back to relate to me, where that that selfishness led me plagued me for most of my life. There's a selfishness that one do, and the energy that you bring along with that, and the energy that attract those kind of people to you. But one of the things about abundance and stuff that you get is that I have learned is that once I stop associating with associating people who had the same defects that I had, then the transformation to be able to move forward started happening.
Yeah.
And then I understand then at that moment that in order to attract the energy that I wanted around me, I first had to be add,
Mm.
you
Yeah,
know, multiply.
yeah.
You know, I had to separate. I had to
Bring something to the
Yeah,
table.
yeah, you gotta bring something to the table.
Yes.
And at the end of this, and I really believe this, and we were just talking that before we even got in here,
Mhm.
is that the ultimate goal for anybody that's been on this journey, you know, that we found ourselves, and especially people who've been through hard times and dealing with people locked up, is the journey that we got to is ultimately come to the fact that because of that self, and I just mentioned it to you, is that the ideal person
Mm.
is he or she who takes pleasure in being a service to others. And the only way you can be a service to others, you have to be in that, have to draw that type of energy.
Well, that's a powerful comment, bro. Give him some love on that. Very powerful comment. The ideal person is he or she who
Takes pleasure.
takes pleasure.
You gotta take pleasure.
Yeah, yeah. My wife is that way.
That's y'all, that's y'all. That's
Yeah, she go out of her way.
I've been doing it for years.
Yeah, my wife is that way. I love that about her. Come on, man, what you got? You know.
Right, I did back then. How we doing, please?
You know, I appreciate this in a lot of different ways.
Come on, Doc.
Me myself too, I have to use this experience that the way I had experienced for years, right? So I can remember the street phrase, you know. You can't be on, you gotta be in. And all, you know, and all the phrases like that.
Yeah,
Right?
right.
So, and I'm saying that because when it comes to attracting things, and I'm really just starting to accept the fact that the things that I attracted had a lot to do with who I was.
Absolutely. Everything.
Right? So, you know, I've been listening to different things lately, and one of the things is about positive affirmations. So, and along with these things, they talk about the positive affirmations. They say the truth is, for me to say that, that's good. I'm somebody, I'm valuable, all these things, right? I'm important, I'm lovable.
Yes.
All these things is, you know, it's good, but the truth is, it don't have, it's because they say, from what I'm listening, it's like me putting on a fresh, clean shirt without taking a bath. See, because I'm saying these things, hoping they come into fruition without letting go of the old stuff.
Right.
So, and in that sense, that was making me a bargain hunter. In that sense, that kept me with a pocket full of change because I wasn't necessarily ready to change.
Wow. And what got you ready?
Again, like I done heard a few times here. I always tell this group that I place myself in position so that I can see the face of that change that I seek. Right? And one of the great, how do you say it, right? When you imitate something, they say, I can't remember the phrase of it, but it's one of the great, you know, it's great forms of flattery. When you imitate something. So, you know, I do. A lot of times I do. I fake it till I make it. But the truth is, it's like you say, the habit becomes the character.
That's right.
Yeah. So, you know, I walk in the room, I pick up a little something, if there's something on the floor, I pick it up, and then I go to another room, I pick up, and I get into the habit. And it's my character, and I pick up, you know. And this is what I do. And this is what I do. And my wife asked me one day, she looked at me, she said, Angelo, because, you know, I don't know if I mentioned this to somebody right now, you know, I'm in the midst of trying to buy a house.
Oh, good.
But see,
Give me a little hand right there.
I told her,
What you tell her?
I said, you know what, babe? Because I let you read that letter one day, my background check. I'm trying to get a place and everybody turning me down because of my background condition. I said, I'm not gonna go through this no more. I'm gonna buy me a building. I'm not going through this. I'm not gonna feel like the mercy. So now it's been a couple of years, but the truth is, just a few months ago, I started putting in applications to banks. But she looked at me and she said, because I wasn't sweating, I was just doing it. I was just taking my time doing it.
Loan application.
Yeah, pre-approved. So I'm just taking my time doing these things. And she looked at me and she said, I told her this a couple of years ago, but before she knew it, now I'm in the process of doing it. And I told her, I said, I'm just doing. I'm not sweating the process of it. I'm accepting what is and what it ain't.
You put it out in the energy out in the universe.
Right.
Yes.
So I speak, I watch, I come in here and all that time I'm listening to guys, hey man, I'm doing this, I'm listening. I say, okay.
Yeah.
I said, okay, I'm listening. I'm listening.
Yeah, right.
But at the same time, I said, you know what? I can do that too.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
And so I'm saying that for a long time, though, what I had been doing, man, this is something that I heard and I really appreciate it. It said, it spoke to me. It said, man, for me, it said, my secret to happiness is wanting the things I already have. And with that, I said, okay, that's some good stuff. I do, so I take care of it. And like, and the scripture said, man, look here, I ain't gonna give you nothing unless you can handle what you got.
Let me stop him right there. Give him some love. Boy, he took a while, but he was getting it out there. And I'm excited, and this is in my own makeup when I hear, one thing about applying for a mortgage, they don't never ask you nothing about a criminal record. They just want to know, do you have
You pay the bills.
do you pay the bills? What is your debt to loan ratio? That's what they want to know.
So the first time in my life, I'm talking about a second job. Don't want the first one.
Give him a hand for the second job. Go ahead, Bronx.
Well, I read this over. I think this is for me. It's still basic for me. Kind of a basic guy. Oh, by the way, Whipper's at the halfway house.
Oh, wow. Yeah, with you?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Whip is a lifer guy. Let's give him a little hand. Yeah. Whipper. Is it Dave? Yeah. You know him if you see him with.
Yeah.
Is he coming? You gonna bring him?
If they let me drive him, I'll bring him here.
Okay.
You know how that is.
Yeah. But he got Mitch too. Who he got?
We got what?
Who's his?
Probably Dana. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. There's a bunch of them.
No,
but if he's over there,
Lifer's only got two. There's
okay. He's over there. So that's the same point. Which is all right. Gotta have one, I guess.
That's the case. Who worked for
Bill Halfman.
Okay.
I mean,
She took Bill Halfman retired, and she took his.
No. They worked together for a long time.
Got it.
And she worked under him.
Okay.
Kind of like protege.
Go ahead.
Yeah, this thing is more for me. It's as simple as it's kind of like what you give is what you're going to get. If you're cheap with people, they're going to be cheap with you.
That's right.
That's kind of if you hanging out with people with low vibrations, you're gonna get low vibrations back. It's just like you're not hanging out with the right people, you're not gonna get the right stuff. They're not gonna.
That's right. That's right. And that's a good point. Because the one thing about a pop meeting is that everybody in here, we have something in common, but we're trying to get someplace else. And one of the things about this meeting, it really helps you locate yourself. You can find yourself in this meeting somehow. Some people doing a little bit better, some people doing a little bit worse, but then you can find yourself in there and then gauge it because everybody's trying to get to the next level. Somebody say next level.
Next
Yeah, but when you're trying to get there, you know, when you come here, that's what you're gonna get. It's some next level conversation, some next level vibrations, some next level understanding. You know what I mean?
Also, I feel safe. Feel
Yes.
safe. You feel safe in this room.
Okay,
You know.
that's good. I appreciate that, son. Tim, it's your turn. So what you got?
Well, you know, I ended up getting a lot, you know, when the fact of all, when you figure out all the things they did for me medically,
Mhm.
you know, that was like, comes out, it was, if I never got a bill from it, it comes out to probably about $500,000 at the hospital there. And then, of course, when I had my hematoma, all the things that they've done for me. And then I'm thinking, you know, but the thing is that in a sense, I didn't get it for nothing. The doctors there want me to succeed.
Mhm.
They want me, so to participate in my healing
Mhm.
is my payback. And also, you know, I look at this one verse that says, who comforts us in our troubles so we can comfort others in their troubles.
Mhm.
So if we get something that helps us, we do have an obligation to then give it to help others. So if you get something just for yourself and never keep it to yourself, that's selfish. But if you get something from others and you use it to benefit others, that's what I think this is saying.
That's good. That's good,
I
Tim.
agree.
So speaking of which now, Tim, you had a car for sale. What'd you do with it?
What's that?
You had a car for sale. What did you do with it?
I sold it to a guy who's able to fix it, and he has a shop and everything
A
else.
mechanic guy.
Yeah, a mechanical guy.
Mhm.
And so, and I, you know, he looked under the hood and he saw the smoke a little bit, and I said, that's a coolant leak, you know,
Right.
and I told him where it was and everything. And he says, well, I'll drop the price. And I says, no, I'm selling it for $300. People are saying I should sell for $500. I'm selling for $300 because of that coolant leak. So if you don't want that car,
Right.
I have a lot of people that buy
That's
it.
right.
And he says, okay. And he gave me $300 cash.
There you go.
So-
I appreciate.
You know, before COVID, I used to speak at Twin Town a lot to encourage guys, you know, about how I stayed, you know, how my walk is surprised. And one of the key points I should always tell, as far as how I stayed sober, is the fact that my experiences is then how, and I thought about this because of what Tim kind of had said, but I always said that everything I experienced is not meant to break me, but make me who I am. And that very same experience, even though I was the one that experienced, didn't necessarily belong to me, because I had always learned that even when I was, man, this brother here, he gave me some good stuff when I sat in the cell with him a lot. But, and because you know what, he was doing, like he knew I had been in and out a couple of times, but and came back in his cell, right? But he was always sharing his experience. And then so during these times, I had came to learn that even though I experienced a lot of different things, they didn't necessarily belong to me, because the truth is, I experienced that for the purpose of someone else was going to come and experience the same or similar thing. And because I had experienced it, I would be able to give something to that person to help them along that path.
And that's so powerful. Pops, can I just
Go.
hand on here, man? It's just, I'm glad you said that, because it goes back to what he said earlier, man, is that. And you teach this for the last 8 years that I've known in dealing with you, you know, on the teaching thing. Because one of the things that they come to understanding is that no matter, when you're talking about going back home, and then you speak about that a lot, once I stop looking at all of my bad behaviors, acts that I've done, Stop looking at them as a sign of weaknesses. Those things are used as a sign of weaknesses that I use. That's where that shame and all that stuff comes in. That when you get so ashamed, you feel like you're the victim.
That's right.
You know what I'm
That's
saying?
right. That's right.
Like you're the victim.
Yes.
You're so overwhelmed with that,
Yeah.
and they kept you that little press on.
Mhm.
I got it.
Mm.
When you were talking about going back home,
Yes,
I
sir.
got it.
Yes, sir.
And what it is that's when you know what? Hold up. That what I done there, those behaviors, those acts and things I done, I don't look at them as a sign of weakness now. I'm looking at it as a sign of strength to get me to this point where I am right now
Yes, sir.
in order to step into my true purpose that I am.
Mm.
And that's to be a healer to other people.
Yeah. Yeah.
They want to be in this stuff. You see what I'm saying?
No, I do. I do.
You know, I get it. And I appreciate that.
That's so powerful, man. And I've been thinking about, how, after some time goes by, you get reflective. And some of the stuff that we did in class, I didn't have time to reflect. We just let's just get it in. We working this thing, right? Now that I have been, removed from that part of it. And you know what? It was Tier who said, Pop, it was God who shut you down, not them.
Right.
He said, because you did what you were supposed to do. And I never thought about it that way.
Game the guy who you're supposed to get.
I never thought about it that way until Tier said it back to me. Because during the time that I stayed in, no opposition could shut me down. And there was a lot of it, right? But that wasn't what I was trying to say. My point, though, was it's just now that I've been able to reflect on the voices I was hearing that made me bold enough to say, you was coming home.
Yeah.
No, you're going to be right with me.
Said what you said.
No, we getting ready to do this. And I mean, I had no, it was just straight out my mouth like it wasn't nothing. And I didn't feel nothing about it. I mean, I knew it was true.
You did.
No doubt.
You said you're gonna do amazing things when you get out.
Wait, look, and it's gonna happen. And same with Jeffrey Young. Jeffrey Young is gonna be a powerful, powerful man when his time comes. And his time is gonna come.
He's already.
And he is,
Right,
he is
right.
that.
I
But
never met him, but I can feel that.
yeah, come on, Doc, come on, yeah. And so, and I remember, anyway, I don't want to just belabor it, but I have a lot of memories and thoughts from these times, that 16 years. There's a lot that went on in that, you get it? And I'm up here trying to figure out how to get some of it out, right? I think I can't do it unless I unless I have some of y'all just kind of help me, kind of think about what it was from your perspective. And that will trigger some stuff in me that all of a sudden somebody be talking about something and then like something will open up in my mind and look like I see every single person sitting there. I hear every conversation, every word verbatim.
Yeah, you remember the officer that disturbed.
Right, yeah, right. Oh, the whole thing. Anyway, I'm sidetracked there. But this is a powerful conversation, man, and I appreciate it. I thank everybody who put something into it. Who did not go? Shelby, what you got?
Yeah, I was debating about it. Sometimes, I don't know if I'm saying the right things or wrong.
Ain't no right thing in here. Come on.
Well,
ain't no wrong thing, I say.
It talks about cheap thoughts bring cheap returns. I think that's really true. It's a true statement, and I think it fits me because I do have cheap thoughts about myself. I can do better. It's like when I was in prison, man, I didn't have a whole lot of money. So every dime that I got, I kind of cherished it.
Yes, sir.
Didn't want to spend it, didn't want to turn it loose. Man, I don't know when the next one's coming. So,
that's right.
I had cheap thoughts.
Yes.
They all come to it.
Yeah.
So like go down to the barber shop, cutting hair, man. I tell the guy, thank you, man.
Yeah,
Sorry, I ain't got nothing to give you. Thank you anyway. I mean, I had a few dollars, but I just couldn't turn it loose.
Wow.
So, I mean, this is true. You know, I can remember back, man, when I had just got paid. I had $300 check in my pocket. I know that ain't no money these days, but back then it was. Before I went to prison back in 2012, $300 was a nice piece of change. To me, it was.
Sure.
Especially if you work hard for it like I did. And I was the type of guy, man, you know, if I see a penny, a nickel laying on the ground, pick it up, put it in my pocket. I still do it. Me too, you know, because that's a nickel or penny more than I had. That's where one day, you know, I was walking
What was that? Is this you?
coming out of the grocery store, it was in the wintertime, and it was like, I'm just reflecting on this, I'll be done. I was looked down on the ground, man, it was about 28 cents, man, frozen in the ice. I went to my trunk, man, and I dug it out. I actually took my time and dug it out. I dug it out. I mean, I ain't gonna sit up here and tell you a thing.
Come on, tell it like it
My
is.
wife was standing there. She said, man, what the heck got over your mind? I said, listen, let me tell you something. A bird in the hand is better than two in the So my whole point is that, you know, I need to treat myself a lot more. Just like recently here, man, I didn't want to go get a barber $20 just recently. I took the $20, man, and bought me, went to Walgreens and bought me some, I mean, not Walgreens, but next door, that little hair place there, right here, right up here.
Got some products.
That's a clip.
Beauty shop. I mean, not beauty shop.
Bought me some clippers for my own hair. Yeah, it looked like a blind man cut my hair, man. I can see it. I got the view right there.
Yeah.
That's it. He said, man, who cut your hair? I said, well, he wasn't feeling good.
Turn the lights on the way out the door, huh?
Well, hey, Shell.
I'm just trying to I'm gonna make this real quick.
No,
I'm
go
just
ahead.
trying to prove a point that this is true. You know, talk about cheap thoughts bring cheap other actions, and that's what happened when I do stuff like that to myself. But I'm trying to get better. You know what I mean? I was really down on myself when I was in prison, man, and it just I came to the right people, man, like Pops and Mr. Howard, and other guys that I met in prison, and it was all for a reason. God put me in the right place at the right time.
That's good. That's good. Come on, give him some love. I appreciate your honesty. And I'm gonna get. I thought that Chris the barber was coming today. He said he's gonna try to get Tuesdays off from barbershop so that he can cut hair in my office. So I'm gonna call him about it because he could fix you up. But to that point, and to Will's earlier point, the people I was around in my early days used to always say, Shane, you got to pay yourself first. And they were serious about that. And some of that stuck in my psyche. And you know, even if it's when you get paid or however it is, you know, you have to set something aside. And what it does is just provides you with this security. It causes you to feel comfortable when you would be broke, agitated, and dangerous. I'm gonna wait for all the amens to die. And so I was dangerous when I didn't have any money, and danger to everybody, especially my own self.
But you know what? I like
Go ahead.
Well, no, I was just gonna say that you know, I learned that I used to. So you know, you read all these books. You know, Rich Man, Poor Man, just all these books, you know, about Napoleon, you hear all these books. And, you know, everybody say, pay yourself first, you know. And, you know, at first, I just kind of just understood that, you know what, you know, you tell some in your pocket for hard times. You know, you pay yourself first. But you know, but then I started to understand from a spiritual perspective that you that when we pay ourselves first, we're saying that that the work we do, that we deserve prosperity before anybody else.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? That we deserve it first. You know what I'm saying? And so paying yourself first is like a confirmation of that. You know what I'm saying?
That's good, Will. That's a good way to put it.
Can I
put
put
something, yeah, put something to the side so that you always feel confident and secure that you're good. Right? It's just something about that, man. Go ahead.
So thinking about that, like even on the spiritual side, right? So it talk. There's two things that they spoke with that lady that was in the Bible, right? So all the people giving all the 2 coins to give, she gave them. So and I'm saying, you know, as far as this is concerned, I'm talking about, you know, the law of abundance, right? And the other people, not the people, but the other man, right? They all of them had so many coins. The ones that had the most coins did the most. But the one with the least coins did the least. You know, and I'm thinking about how did that, you know, how that affected them, you know, in the law of abundance, right? See, because when I was on the street, before I went to prison this last time, I was out there pretty bad, right? But my experience, I had a lot of people that didn't have nickel nor dime, and they would tell me, and you know, whatever they saw in me, you better than that, man. Here, take this and go somewhere. So I wouldn't be so dangerous. Take this. I'm serious. This is what a lot of people did for me. You know, take this, you know, and I got lots of encouragement. And so, and in a sense, even when I got out and went back to school, I seen a lot more people, and these were my biggest supporters. You know, and I'm trying to, as we talk, I'm trying to measure that in the vibration.
Yeah. And in the scripture, the men who gave, they had it to give. She didn't have it to give, but she gave it anyway. Right.
Last 3 pennies.
I'm thinking about this.
Down here and to the left.
I'm thinking about the position I find myself in presently today.
Come on.
When I read, you are violating the law of abundance. Now, I'm operating in a sense opposite that now. I'm actually operating inside of the law of abundance because the law of abundance says you must pay for what you get. You cannot benefit from the mistakes or loss of another. What bail bondsmen do, they benefit from the mistakes and the loss of others.
Wow.
The work that I do as a cash bail specialist, I work opposite them. We pay for cash bails, and you don't pay that. We don't expect you to give us anything in return except show up to court.
Right.
The money gets recycled and comes back to us 100%, and we use it for the next individual. So we're operating solely in the law of abundance.
That's right. Give him some love like that. Love that.
Yeah, I like that.
I love that, brother. I really do. It just blesses my heart.
And now you love what he's doing.
You do.
See, he's the light of what he previously did, but he loved.
That's a different. And so, you know, I recommended him and Moses. This was a long time ago to Eliza, who would be qualified from my perspective. He said, "Pop, who could do it?" And he wanted Will and, you know, this and that. And, you know, Will is good, you know. And this was before, around the time Will was buying his house. But anyway, y'all had the ability. There's some skill sets you have to have. You don't have those skills. But then after your job came up and developed, you know, then you get yours. You are operating in the law of abundance right now in that. in the job that you're in. And then to others. Now, here, Ross over here. Ross, he been telling me since before he left prison, he was going to be in construction. He been telling me that. And I said, okay, I just want to get you home. But he been saying he gonna work in construction. And as soon as he got out, I mean, he was focused on it, you know, and then just kind of lasered it. Wasn't looking for no other job. This was what he was gonna do. And he got himself there, you know. So now that you're there, are you in your abundance?
Yep, I gotta work for it though.
Yeah.
Might stay in there, but
Mm-hmm.
it's a starter kit.
It's a starter kit.
Yeah.
Because then he said he was going to drive truck after that.
Yeah.
So I have no doubt that he's going to move from construction to driving truck.
I'm trying to find a way.
Or heavy equipment or something.
Heavy.
Heavy driving something.
Right.
Yeah, throwing them blocks ain't no fun. Yeah.
See that? But look, but busting themselves wasn't no fun, you know, on the other side. It's not that you had to be able to do it. You had the ability to do it. You know what I'm saying? I love that. Hey, look at the minister. The minister's here. Get his uniform on. And he done brought this young lady. Hey, young lady, how are you?
This is what keep me on. This is Latanya.
Latanya, what's going on? Yeah, get her a chair with you.
I was just thinking about you, man.
You're all right, they'll get it.
I'll take some.
Come on in. You all right?
Yeah, you got a new, is that the new joint?
Yeah,
No,
it's
you
a new
got to
joint.
tell everybody about it.
Well, I'll go to upsjobs.com, 27.50 an hour, 50 cents
You
an
got a
hour.
new job
50 cents
today.
Come on, sit down.
You got a new job today.
The minister came in here with a preach. He had a preach already. You know, hey, hold up, baby. We ain't seen you in a few weeks. You know, hold up. Matter of fact, he's sporting a new uniform. The last time I seen him, he was up here driving the truck for what was the name?
Hot Spring Spa.
Hot Springs.
Right. Now you got a new
So
job.
now you're doing UPS.
5,000 jobs with me.
Yeah.
I mean, I change jobs like a man changes.
Yes, you do.
I got skills like that. One of the brothers, Larry, man, I looked up to that brother. He stopped coming to the group. He inspired me. He told me, he said, man, you got to give the gab. You should be a salesman. So I have
For real.
No, Larry is, you know, he took a job up here on, what's the name of that organization? Neon.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he, you know, he's staying pretty busy. Larry, what was Larry's last name? Dobie, Larry, Posey, Larry Posey.
Yeah.
Yeah. He still sends things our way, but that's what we're talking about.
Yeah.
And so, and Minister, why don't you officially introduce the young lady now? So we
Yes.
This is Latanya. We met for me making a joke at an ATM Wells Fargo at a job.
Okay.
And I said, where your man? And she said, I don't have one. I said, you got one now.
Oh,
You got my number now. A week later, we got you.
Come on, give it. Look, and you know, I just want you to know at the ATM they had it all on videotape. But you know, that's a sweet story. I love it. You know, I love it. And so you want to say anything about yourself? Or?
No.
My name is Latanya.
Okay.
I know Michelle. I
Okay.
used to work with Michelle years ago.
Oh, wow.
Okay, good.
And I've been
Yeah,
doing
what time where are you from?
long time. I'm from Chicago.
Chicago. I can hear it. I can hear it in the voice. Chicago. Right. I can hear it in the voice. But look, we're glad to have you. We got any chicken left?
Yeah, it's plenty of
What?
chicken.
No.
No.
Okay.
Where I am.
Okay. Send the chicken back to the minister. Wait a minute. Melly, wait. Excuse me though. Melly didn't get in on this. I want to get his thoughts on this last piece. Go ahead.
Yeah, in short, were a few things that caught my attention here, but most likely, the last part that is here, when you do things for other people.
I'm listening.
When I do things for people, I feel very blessed and grateful that I'm able to do so, because I know where I have come and how others have stood in that gap for me.
Yes, sir.
So it's a special kind of joy that comes to you when you do. And I say joy that comes to you when you do things for people. You don't look at it no more. You just turn your back and go. So when you talk about it tomorrow, I don't remember what to say because I'm taking my blessing and going because I done what I had to do.
Good.
So when it comes to spirituality, like what the brother just mentioned about the lady with the two coin that gave in the temple. When it comes to the Lord of abundance, sometimes it don't make sense.
Yes, sir.
We did mention here in the Lord of abundance that you have to put something aside, take care of yourself. But when it comes to spirituality, this lady gave everything she had. And that's why Jesus said she gave the best. It was her last. And if we start to think like that, you see, because it's a lot of sowing and reaping. What you put in, that what you get out.
Yes, sir.
You will never put in oranges and you get apple from it. When you plant an orange tree, you're going to bring orange down. So it's a lot of sowing and reaping.
Yes,
So something he mentioned here in short, and which I agree, and he also reiterated what in there, that when you walk with great men, you are also being considered a great man. We got to always remember it. We have to be very careful and choose the people we decide to befriend. I'm not saying don't speak to people, but if you're going to hang with somebody, you got to make sure exactly who you're hanging with. Because if you hang out with the right people, they will help you to go up. But if you're looking at somebody who is a negator, negativity, they speak every day, definitely that's hard. I think going to rub on you. You're going to say, oh, I have it under control. Sooner or later, you're going to be just like that person.
Yeah, come on, doctor.
Come
on. Yeah, Melly getting it in over here. That's good, man. That's good work. That's good word. Chris broke up in here and, you know, all of this and that. Probably got the truck double parked outside. Okay, put them on. This is a lifer guy, Adrian. You know Adrian Williams.
When Shane calls you.
Yeah, hey, brother.
How you doing, Bob?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm glad to hear your voice, man.
What's going on there?
For me, they're great. You know, things are great for me. So come on out, man. Get a piece.
Well, I got to put a parole package together, and I was wondering if I could use one of the pop outs. And I got a bunch of other questions.
So
is there anything we can do to talk about?
Yeah.
Be prepared for it, but
When is your date?
I didn't hear you. I can't hear you that well.
When is your date?
When is my date?
Do you have a parole date?
It's tacked again by December because they said it for June.
Right.
Trying in June.
Yeah, I left a message with Tierra to have you put down that you'll come to Pop 2 at 2009 James. Write it down.
2009 James?
Yeah, 55411. Hey, give him a pop down 3123.
Okay.
So we got, Tuesday night is our meeting, so you called at the right time.
From Rush City?
Yeah, this is Adrian from Rush City. This is Chris Berg asking me, is this you? And anybody else in the door, Adrian?
Bowers. Be nice.
There's Dwight Bowers is in there, man.
When I went to the parole board because I'm a lifer, I didn't know any of this stuff. You prepared us for a lot of things, but it's a lot of little intricate stuff that they don't tell you when you got a life thing. You get right in front of them. I wasn't prepared for this, and I'll probably fall off a little bit. It's a little nerve-wracking, but it's going to take some maneuvering. But whatever, I don't think I can get this figured out.
Wow. Yeah, so the address is first. And just so you know, man, Dwight here is really made some history because he's one of the first lifers I know in my time that was paroled directly home.
Wow. Yeah.
Really?
He didn't have to go so normally a lifer would have to stop at a DOC funded halfway house like Ashland House or a VOA or something like that. But now I think because of the housing crunch, they got to look at it a different way. So they allowed him to come on home, and the chance would be, as a matter of fact, he really was approved to come to us.
Yeah.
You know, so I think the address is going to work for you in that regard.
Is there anything we can do to have a conversation with my case manager here in the facility?
Yeah.
We can set up a meeting time between me, her, and you. I'll have to put it together more.
Who is your caseworker?
My case manager is Christy Spurl.
And do y'all have a good relationship?
We have an okay relationship. I only been here since January, but she knows I carry myself accordingly. I'm not one of these. I'm trained right. So.
And so, are you back at Rush now?
No, I'm in Final Lake.
Oh wow!
I had a spinal surgery, so I left Rush City in 2020 in January. Then I went to Oak Park. They put me in population there. They chewed up my silent cry and my Power to People book, and I took that to Stillwater where I had seen Jazz or Jeffrey Young.
Yeah.
And them guys over there, they ran out of books because in Stillwater, they're going crazy for the Power of People books and the Solid of Christ. So we began the whole class based off the notes you had. They powered the notes into almost pieces. I called and tried to get more books from other places other than Amazon. I don't know why I didn't go straight to Amazon there, but yeah.
So Jeffrey Young's mom is sitting right here listening at you, and she's a part of our group too, you know, so I know that warms her heart.
How's she doing? You know, Linnell, them guys are incredible. You know, they were in a different unit across the hall from me due to COVID. We couldn't mix. And we would see each other in the hallways and pads and just yell out messages to each other. But I wish them guys could get a box of books over there because I was in B East and then they were in A East, and so we were right across the hall from each other. And I'm telling you, man, they're thirsty for the teachings you got. Man. I'm telling you.
Hey, thank you. I appreciate hearing that from you. And we're gonna work on getting some books over there.
We was sitting down in our own time. You know, we got an hour out, and I was taking 30 minutes of my hour out during COVID lockdown.
Right.
Steve and stuff is over there. It's so sad. They're actually in Hope Park. They bring tears to your eye. They don't have no hope over there. I'm telling you, I almost didn't want to cry. And then when I went to Stillwater, man, I almost had to tear up about it. The mothers had no hope.
Wow.
Also, the teacher got power to people.
Wow.
It's real over there.
Yeah, I feel you.
It's real. I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah, I feel you.
So I just pray that you get Jeff, and you get the books, and
Right.
you get them pieces of that because we going off of notes that we got.
Right.
We're not rich, so we can't afford to have to put in there with our own money. We have family to help us. But I'm trying to tell you, it's real. They need you there, Pop. They need you in both of the places.
Yeah, Jeff and both Jeff and Linnell have told me how they be crunching between them lockdowns and trying to coach and share and inspire and just not only getting the books, they're limited on how many they can have and all kind of other stuff. It is terrible because there's a lot of men in there trying to help a lot of men, and it's like they sometimes don't even want to help.
It's so hard to be positive, you know, when you got all the evil against you.
Yeah.
And I don't know how to explain
So let's get down to your thing, Adrian. So you know, thank you for that. But look, so what I do is tomorrow I'll call your caseworker and then see if she can arrange a time between the three of us to get on and figure something out. So that's going to be step number one. You know, I'll get in touch with her and then we'll go from there. I got her name here. What's your OID number, son?
191447.
191447. Boy, a 191 number is an old timer then. Get 191 up there.
Angelo made a contribution toward the book.
And so Angelo Mack in here, he done sent a little contribution to the organization toward books. So you know already some money is coming up. So we'll see what we can do on that tip, man. But I'm glad you're in Lino now. That should be a little easier set for you.
You would think it is. But I'm not to carry myself accordingly.
Are you in minimum?
I'm in PS say I'm in just regular media,
Right.
Christian-based program. You know, I'm a God believer. I believe in God, so it's a
That's
blessing
right.
that I'm here.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
And the fact that I'm even making here, no matter what the outcome, I'm prepared for it. But I want to be even more prepared. I want to increase my odds. One thing is, I'm not going to reach back into the family because those people were there when I came in. You know, they're good people. I'm not taking them away from the people who raised me. But I don't want to utilize them for address because I'll be walking right back into the same background that I came from.
No, I understand that. I understand. So no, we can do it another way. And so I will talk to her tomorrow. Who else is up there with you in Lino? Lifer.
Power people.
Lifer people, yeah, POP people.
I would have to look at the list as far as lifers. We're spread out. They don't let our units mix like other places. So there's not that many people in here that's in the power of people. There's some earlier people that the power of people, like Robert English. He's in this group. He was the power of people a while ago.
Yeah, right. No, I remember.
And then there's a couple.
Ruby?
Is it? Huh? Yeah, Ruby's here. Yes. Yeah. I talk to Ruby every day. And that's a real powerful brother. You know, they denied him so him to come back to 2 years. Oh, guess who's down here? Mr. Reed. Ronald Reed is here with me. They denied that brother. And I've been really praying for him. This really took a toll on his mind. You know, he didn't utilize his teaching well. And,
Yeah.
They denied him just last month.
Oh, man, after they had given him 2 years.
Yeah.
We thought he was close to the door. Yeah, right. Hey, Reed is a pop guy. Tell him, man, we send him our love and everything, and don't surrender nothing.
That's right.
No. He's still a work in progress, man. But you know, the commissioner was a cop, and he was involved with the killing of a cop. So he should have saw the conflict and interest in that coming. But it took him to a toll, you know. You got to be real positive because he was struggling after that.
Yeah, right. He was
still struggling.
I talked. Yeah, he was looking forward to coming. All right, look, I'm gonna let you go for now, man. We got love for you. Pop guy on 3, 1, 2, 3. Pop guy! Call tomorrow and set it up, and then we'll do a 3-way with your caseworker. All right? All right, I do it. Promise, man.
Keep fighting.
All right, keep fighting.
Okay.
All right.
Wow.
Yeah, man, that was emotional.
Yeah. So you know, wow.
Say how much you miss, you know, the program itself is missed out in the moment. Yeah, you gotta, it is devastating.
I'm gonna both. I'm gonna both.
10 is the pop prize. You know, they $20 on in the public, but we'll figure something out. But we appreciate, you know, y'all's efforts, man. That's nothing but love, and so we'll figure something out.
That was one of the things we just got through. So that was.
But Pops, come to think of it, in Lionel Lakes, we still had them books that you had in that, remember in that cubby.
I thought I left.
We got like 30 or 40 books right there.
Right. And so
Now
what
think
I can do, that's good. That's good.
Yeah, because it's right there. It's still there.
Yeah.
Because I know exactly what it is.
Right in that, right outside of that,
that
classroom in that,
right there.
in that cubby.
In that cup, it's right there. We had it in the desk office, but once it's getting close down, I took them and I put them in there where there's my you know, because I was the man in there, so I took our books and put them in there with mine.
Right.
So it's in the closet.
All right, well, we got that.
It's in the closet right there.
Man, that was powerful. So, hey, Sherrod, man, what's going on, man? You all right?
Yeah, I'm good, Pops. How y'all doing?
I can't hear you, though.
Can you hear me now? I'm finna pull over.
Yeah, that's funny.
Can you hear me, Pops?
No, it's 100%. I got it on 100% right here. Wow.
I hear him out there. My camera. I got 2 mics. That mic always running.
So.
I don't have more.
Can you hear me, Pops?
No, it's just not coming in, you know. All right, well, look, man, we can't hear you, but you know, we got love for you, man. We've been missing you.
You know, so you gotta, I know you're busy and I'm glad to see you, but man, you gotta come on in and show your face, man. Yeah, we gotta fight this battle together. So I've been missing you a lot. And I need some shirts. So I need you to come by here and get an order, man. We need to re-up our shirts. So get with me on that. We're gonna make them long sleeve though, for the season. All right. Like,
Can you hear me?
how many did I make last time? Was it 100?
I was 30, like 35.
Wayne what is he saying? Did we make 100? How many ever that? 300, 400?
No, 35.
200? Oh, okay. I thought so then let's make 50. 50, and you know, so that we long sleeve, and then we need a couple 6X's, a 5X, couple 5X's, couple 4X's, and the rest of them XL, large, and about 2 medium. The minister back here, he wear about 2, 3X, you know. You gotta straighten him out. So then he put it on her, you know what I'm saying? Hey, but it's good to see you. It's good to see you. And then Krista came in the same yellow that TX got on, so they didn't just lit the room up, you know. So, you know, everything's going on up in here. I'm gonna tell you though, why by Adrian calling like that, that kind of flashed me back, you know, because, you know, I haven't made the effort after COVID, you know. First they put me out and then they apologized for it. And you know, and then they wanted me to apply for some, you know, some money, I just said, no, you know. Me and my wife have a saying, is that I go where I'm celebrated and not where I'm tolerated.
That's right.
And so, you know, I just realized because this was a whole new administration. Yeah. Nobody in that administration knew who we were, but they were all hearing about it, and it was threatening. It was intimidating to them. And what I've realized is people don't want it to be, you know, a black or brown concept, period. You know, they just felt like it can't be you. You guys can't be the ones to figure this thing out. Wow. And you know, when I realized that, even though I had all kind of white boys, the Native Americans, Asians, Hispanics, and they out here walking, they all over the country, even though I had all of that, all they could see was, well, you, the blacks, you can't be the one to figure this thing out. And that my logical mind wouldn't let me get past that. Wow. I couldn't overlook it. And so I didn't make no more effort. You know, just like, hey, I'm good. But when I hear my son like that hollering, that's different. Right. That's a different thing right there. Mm-hmm. So I can tell you, man, I went on a rocket ride right there because I could bust up in Stillwater and hit. Okay. Yeah, but anyway, I'm so glad that we still coming together. You know how we're looking that we started so small, but now look, we're getting bigger, and time goes on, we'd even get bigger. But I'm gonna tell you, every time you don't want to come to group, that's the time you need to come, because there's something trying to keep you from being here. And I actually need you to be a part of it, for it, be accountable to something. Yeah. And you know, one thing about the minister right here, which I got to give him credit for, if he ain't gonna make it, he always texts me to say, Papa, I ain't gonna make it. Or I'm gonna come late. So Ross does the same thing. That kind of accountability is important because it's saying we value each other enough to be accountable to each other without the vicissitudes of chains and bars and all of these other constructs telling us where we gotta be, who we gotta be, and what your number is.
Man,
You know, so
I can't remember nothing, but I remember that number.
I remember.
I remember back from
I've been to the 4 states, and I remember all of them. All different. They do. They all give you a different number. Philly gave me a different number. Delaware gave me a different number.
I thought you were supposed to have the number. I had my number from Minneapolis all the way to Las Vegas, same number.
you're the only one that ever did that.
Well, maybe I'm, maybe I did.
They say you so bad, we just gotta keep you the same. So look what we're gonna do here. Sis, hold up now, unless you got, hold on. We're gonna try to get out of here. It's just about 8 o'clock. Now, you know, Riri's selling clothes. So if you stop by her store on the way out the door and check it out, this and that. And she got a little car now, so she's getting around again.
Oh, what? All right. You got some wheels on?
Give her a little dab. Chris tried everything. Chris tried everything he could do to get them people to do right.
Do right.
And they didn't want to do nothing. So we ended up having to go and just throw something down. Right.
Yeah, just like the song. Gotta do wrong.
Right. And so we ended up having to get her back on her feet so she could make her appointments and this and that. Remember now what we talked about early on here. Do you have a primary doctor? Do you have health care? And also the booster shot? That's going to happen. So I'm going to make it happen here, and we're going to incorporate the seniors over here. We're going to do the booster shot, Moderna, and we'll have Pfizer too. If somebody else had Pfizer, although all of us had Moderna, and then we'll have Pfizer as well. And if you have children or grandchildren, now, with the permission of the caretaker or the adult, and that child can get the vaccination between 5 and 11. Yeah. So it's a time for us to open it up. We're going to do the blood pressure screening and all of that stuff. And I'm looking at maybe December, the first Saturday in December is when we would do it. Now, I haven't had my booster. I'm waiting just because I want to have it right here like we did before, but I am going to get it. And so I'm just letting you know now, early December, somebody look on your phone and see what's the first Saturday. And now you done jumped up to a whole nother phone now, son.
I know, right?
Ooh, you quick, bro.
And what?
It's December 4th. It was a Saturday.
December 4th, that's the date we're going to be shooting for. So talk to your family and your loved ones, if they haven't been vaccinated. And we got to get over ourselves about up here, all your rights and all this. Guy Bolden from the Fathers Project. Do y'all know who Guy is? You all heard of the Fathers Project. Guy created that organization, lost it, they put him out of it, and then he came back as a worker and reclaimed his own thing. It's just an amazing story. But Guy's son's grandparents, Guy's son, 37, the grandparents had got COVID, but they recovered. But the grandson was running in and out of there because they recovered. He believed that there was no threat, and he wasn't vaccinated. And we just got through burying him on last Friday. Tierra and I were there to support him last Friday. 37 years old. This is my brother right here.
Wow.
Hey man, I'm in a meeting, but I'll call you right back. And so sorry. And so it'll claim you. It don't mean nothing. This age stuff don't mean nothing. And now we getting ready to go into this cold season where you won't be able to tell the difference between do you have a cold or do you have the thing.
Okay.
And this is what concerns me. That's why I'm glad you got your booster. And for some of you all, you may want to get a flu shot, even though you maybe never got one before, just so that you are fully immunized. You get what I'm saying? And you have the protection on all levels. You got to really be thinking now, press in on this. Everybody in here knows how it's getting ready to get out there. It ain't going to be no game. And so that hawk is going to be hitting, and we have to be protected, and we want to also protect our families. Right. So I'm going to shoot for December 4th as our date to make this thing happen. All right?
Yes.
All right. Let's pledge out of here. TX, so we so glad to meet your young lady friend from Chicago. She might be,
straighten him out.
She got that look in her eye like she don't take no wisdom jigger. You know, I like that. I like
We got
that.
1 year now, Bill.
1 year?
Met on my birthday.
Come on now. She word go to?
Not.
I will.
I will.
Balance my family values.
Balance my family values.
My goals.
With my goals.
I will.
I will.
Exercise wisdom.
Exercise wisdom.
What I choose to eat.
What I choose to eat.
Read.
Read.
And do.
And do.
I will.
I will.
Strive to make all of my relationships.
Strive to make all my relationships.
Win-win.
Win-win.
No deal.
No deal.
We're saying that for the young lady so she know how to manage TX, you know. I will.
I will.
Under every circumstance.
Under every circumstance.
Maintain a positive attitude.
Maintain a positive attitude.
I will.
I will.
Enjoy my life.
Enjoy my life.
With a sense of humor.
With a sense of humor.
While taking advantage of opportunities.
While taking advantage of opportunities.
Learning from my misfortune.
Learning from my misfortune.
I will.
I will.
Act upon circumstances.
Act upon circumstances.
Rather than have them act upon me.
Rather than have them
I will.
I will.
On a daily basis.
On a daily basis.
Be proactive with my goals.
Be proactive with my goals.
Thinking about what my Max said about trying to buy a home. That's a goal.
That's a goal.
And once you get your feet wet in that, it'll pull you in.
I know that.
That's good.
Already.
Get it. There you go. I like it. I will.
I will.
Always protect my wisdom.
Always protect my wisdom.
My health.
My health.
And my happiness.
And my happiness.
I will.
I will.
Stay principle centered.
Stay principle centered.
That means we ain't doing everything. We're just doing something, and we're getting down with that something that
That's
we do.
right.
Mhm. Stay principle centered and maintain a positive circle of influence.
And maintain a positive circle of influence.
I will.
I will.
Daily learn.
Daily learn.
I'm gonna commit.
I'm gonna commit.
Do the daggone thing.
I'm gonna do the daggone thing.
I will.
I will.
Act according to the POP Leadership Institute.
Act according to the POP
Productive in my community.
Productive in my community.
And my private life.
And my private
All right,
life.
now hug somebody. Let's clean up. Let's get out of here.
Hey, listen, I wanna-
Oh, wait.
Hold on, hold on.
Excuse me. Oh, wait. Michelle has something.
Hold up, guys.
Excuse me, real quick. Moses, hold up. Let's just come back into the circle. Go ahead.
I want to share this with you all because nobody can relate better than the people who sit at this table. But Art from the Inside started by Antonio Espinosa. Some might know him from Stillwater.
He's been here.
Yeah, well, he's retired now and he's moving forward with this whole art transformation thing. And I've heard this brother speak a few times about what he learned being a correction officer and how he learned that he went in there in the wrong place and found transformation himself. Right now, there are several amazing incarcerated artists. Work is outside. I get goosebumps with this, but outside the Museum of American Art here in Minnesota and St. Paul on 10 by 10 and 8 by 10 canvases. And it's on the whole outside of the building, window by window by window.
Oh, wow.
Linnell has his Amanda Gorman out there. It's right across the street from the federal courthouse. And anybody in them office buildings, riding the train, driving, going to or from work has no choice but to see this art. And the other day I went out there and the wind was just blowing and people were pulling over and getting out their cars. And then upstairs on the second floor to the left, there's the whole documentary with the guys on the inside talking about their experiences and what art does for them. And then you go, and this is in St. Paul, then you go over to Creative Space. Now at the museum, you don't have to be going in unless you want to see the documentary, which you can see at Creative Space too. So you can just pull up there and see this.
Mm.
And it's all around the corner. It's down here and down here. And it's just like, it's really amazing to see. And at Creative Space, Wednesday through Friday, throughout November, they have this amazing gallery. It looks like the most luxurious, amazing gallery.
And it's all
this
offenders?
art, all offenders, men and
Do you
women.
guys remember the CEO that came here about a year and a half ago?
Yeah.
That's who she's talking about.
And I'm telling you, I've been there twice, 2 hours each time. It's a very emotional experience because a lot of times you go to a museum, you see those big artists and everything, you don't understand the connection to their art. These guys have little play cards where they talk about what creating this art has done for them, does to them, and what they're able to express from it. So you draw an immediate connection with the artist and the art. And I know that for many of you, you can so relate to the expressions. You got to go see it.
So Michelle, can you give that information to Wayne so he can put it out?
Yes.
Send it to him. Yeah, we can
Because
get
I
it.
mean, just it's such an affirmation for them and for all of you as to connecting with those people from the inside and being able to relate to that and then being present in that space that's been created.
Thank you. Let's do that. Let's make it happen.
And then the other thing is on Hulu, Small Business Revolution. You probably heard a lot about it in the news and in social media, starting out with the spokesman, Sammy's Eatery, Taste Rondo, Gentleman Cuts, and Elsa's House and Lipperstein. Well, Jeffrey and Linnell have an interview in there. It's short, but it's impactful.
And what is it in?
It's Hulu. It's on Hulu, the whole 6th season, and the spokesman is the first episode. But in there, they get to go up there and interview them because the spokesman chose to donate to the Prison Mirror because of Jeffrey's writing there for 10 years. So when they met them at the
He
table,
started writing there because of us in the class. We got it. I said, man, you need a voice on the outside. Start writing an article for the spokesman.
and then 2 years or 3 years into that, they were working with Pop and renegotiate, and then Jeffrey did a whole article on the impact of the Power of the People program, why the DOC needed to keep it, and what it was doing for the men inside. That's still online there. But him and Linnell have a really short interview where they're talking to them about the paper and that, because each of these businesses got to donate to a charity. So the spokesman chose the Mirror because they write in, and Kevin Reese and all of them. She had many columns for writers from Lionel Lakes. Any of you can write for that paper and be published, and I can help you with that. But that episode's on Hulu to watch, or it's on the Deluxe website. I'll make sure Wayne gets that for free for anybody that doesn't have Hulu. But the punchline in there, because Jeffrey's always planting seeds, kind of like when we came from Africa with the seeds and we brought them. So they asked him something about a headline. I didn't catch what they said, but I caught the whole of what Jeffrey said. And he said, yeah, prison's no longer needed.